So I spent some money on a pretty cool thing. I bought some lights, I bought a green screen, and I'm super happy with how it all looks right now, but now I'm going to use this video as a testing platform to see if it actually looks any good on screen, and I guess we'll figure that out after I record this video. But this video is pretty much going to be all about how in the last week Disney has basically said, here, hold this, and have dropped 3 pretty massive details about projects, one of them being the Deadpool 3 trailer, otherwise known as Deadpool and Wolverine. Another one was the cast of the Fantastic Four, and another one was the X-Men 97 series release teaser trailer or trailer in general, and that series is coming out in March. So 3 really big projects for Disney and Marvel to hopefully rebound them from this super low point that they're in. And a lot of people are saying that these new projects are going to be the savior of the MCU. And while I'm not one to particularly disagree with that assessment, I'm not 100% sure I can sit around here and say we've got it all figured out already. And here is why. But before we get into all of that, hopefully you guys can do me a favor and follow me on these social media platforms, like this upload or this video, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. It does a lot, and it helps more than you could possibly know. And hopefully that we can continue banging out these videos for you. And welcome to Ian Talks. And we'll be trying to use this green screen for some forever talking stuff. But there's some things that I need to tweak before we get to it, but right now this should work for what I'm trying to do with this video, at least. If it doesn't, then it's back to the drawing board and figuring out how I can get this thing to work. This thing is massive. It's absolutely huge. I have a desk right here, which is pretty cool. It's just like a table thing. It's like a picnic table, so it's definitely not going to be what I need for forever talking. And it's in my basement, which has the AC unit right there that is incredibly loud, that I have to, it's like the heating and the cooling unit. I have to flick the power off so it doesn't continuously roar, and I don't know if it actually picks it up while I'm recording. If it doesn't, then we're in business, but if I'm doing 2 takes of this, so it should be good. It's roaring continuously at the moment until I turned it off, because there is currently a blizzard going on in St. Louis right now, as I can see outside my basement door right there. So hopefully everything looks good, hears, sounds good, and let's just get into the video. So Super Bowl Sunday was this weekend. I complained about it quite enough that the Chiefs won, but the big talking point that I wanted to take away from the Super Bowl, and why I mention it, is that the Super Bowl has all these commercials. Everybody knows about it. If you're not a big fan of the football game, you're going to probably watch the commercials. I don't actually know if the commercials were that much of a slapper this year, as I was watching the game in a restaurant bar area. So what I can say that happened was the Deadpool teaser was announced to being online. I don't think the whole trailer was at the Super Bowl, but they released basically a teaser saying, hey, the trailer's online. So whenever I got home from the Super Bowl, I went and I watched the trailer for Deadpool 3, and it smacked. This movie looks absolutely phenomenal. A trailer was put together really, really well, and from all the leaks that we can see, like this one, it's gonna be a really, really great movie. Sean Levy is directing this film. Ryan Reynolds is of course back as Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman is playing Wolverine once again. What this movie kind of looks like to me, it kind of looks like what Multiverse of Madness was hyped up to be, but with Deadpool instead. The TVA are making a very special appearance in this film, becoming the driving factor of what puts Deadpool in this reality. It seems like this movie's going to have massive story elements, contradictories, and consequences that lead into what is going to make Secret Wars. And that is something to be unbelievably excited about as a movie that you are going to be building the backup off of. Now, I know that Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars has a bunch of trouble going on with it about who's going to direct this film, who's writing the film. I think it should be the Loki writers, and I think that the director... I know that they really want Sam Raimi to do Secret Wars, but if Sean Levy kills it with this film, which is a multi-dimensional film, and balancing all these different characters like Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, and the TVA, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and other X-Men characters, and the Fox Universe characters, and everybody that they're bringing into this thing, I can't see a world where Sean Levy doesn't get the job if this movie's phenomenal. I think he should definitely get it if this movie's great. And trust me when I say this movie does look great, because if there's one thing that I can say about Ryan Reynolds and the Deadpool character, he puts quality above everything else, and I don't think Hugh Jackman's Wolverine would come back to this film or playing this character if he didn't think that what they were building was going to be special. And as this being pretty much a precursor leading into Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, I think that this is going to be very special of a movie. It's going to feel very Deadpool. It's going to feel, it's basically giving the fans what they've asked for years and years and years, was putting Deadpool and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, who are real life friends, on the screen together for a movie. And with the title, and I know Wolverine wasn't in the movie or in the trailer as much, they were hiding him a little bit, but with the title being Deadpool and Wolverine, I can't see that Wolverine's not a massive part of this character, or this movie, sorry. Now, a lot of people were pitting this movie up, and Ryan Reynolds, Wade Wilson even said it in the trailer, that he's going to be Marvel's Jesus to save this little cinematic universe. And while I do think that the cinematic universe going forward is probably going to change quite a bit, just because this is probably the big one leading into Secret Wars, do I think that Deadpool 3 as an altogether film really fixes the issues that have been going on in the MCU? I can't say that it does. And what I mean by that is everybody, like, Deadpool 3 looks phenomenal. It has massive consequences for the future of the MCU. But what I can say is that nothing truly changes in this universe until the other movies begin to change as well. Because if this movie's phenomenal and the MCU goes right back into the issues they've already been having, you just have yourself with another Guardians of the Galaxy 3 thing. And that's not what we want. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, of course, directed by James Gunn, of course, a third movie in a otherwise disconnected set of films with the rest of the universe. I know that they showed up in Infinity War and Endgame, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was really, really great, but it was surrounded by a slew of movies that were not phenomenal in the long run. And the worst thing that you can do is make Deadpool 3 as great as it possibly can be, and then leading right into something like the new Captain America movie, and maybe that's not as good, but it looks like they're taking a lot of time with the new Captain America movie, so hopefully it does pan out the way that we need it to. And it sounds like the Captain America movie and the consequences that that movie is going to have is that Sam is going to reintroduce the Avengers at the end of the movie, which is something that we need to see, because what I've been able to tell is that Kang Dynasty will become the new Avengers versus the Kang Dynasty, and then Secret Wars will become all the old original OG Marvel characters and stuff like that in the Fox universe and the Sony universe and everything coming together for one big movie, taking on all the Kangs at Battle World and Galactus and yada yada yada. And that movie will introduce the MCU X-Men, I'm sure, of some capacity. But Deadpool 3 is a lot to be excited about. I think, and I'm pretty certain this movie is going to be really, really great. It's going to break $1 billion at the box office, 100%. And I'm very happy that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are making a movie for the fans, taking care of the fans, because oftentimes if you just listen to what the fans want, they'll tell you what they want, and that will make you money. It's a really simple concept. But why I think that Marvel is turning a corner potentially leading into the future is because other projects came out and other teasers and other trailers, such as the cast of the Fantastic Four was announced. And it was announced on Valentine's Day with a very awesome hand-drawn portrait. Gives us some insight to what this movie is going to be. It was the Fantastic Four hanging out in their sweaters and their uniforms in the family room, just chilling out, having a good time, in a very 60s looking family room. So this movie is going to be taking place in the 60s. And they announced the cast of the film, which two of them I'm super excited about, or three of them two of them I'm super excited about, one of them I'm pretty excited about, or I'm like okay with, and then the other one I'm like, don't get it, but it could be pretty good. And the casting was Vanessa Kirby is going to be playing Sue Storm. That's pretty great. Evan Moss, I believe his name is, who plays Cousin in The Bear, Richie in The Bear. He's playing the Thing. My favorite one out of all this. Joseph Quinn, I believe his name is, who plays Eddie. I think Eddie is his name in the Stranger Things show. Stranger Things is a show that eluded me my entire life. I never actually watched that show. but that is going to be a thing that they, playing Johnny Storm. And I know a lot of people are kind of complaining about this one, saying that his character in Stranger Things just doesn't match the Johnny Storm energy. And I can't really disagree. I know who that character is in Stranger Things, and I've seen him in that show. But do I think that it's a bad casting? I'm not 100% sure. There were better options out there, sure. I think Austin Butler would have been a phenomenal choice. Maybe he's a little too old. I don't know how old Austin Butler is, but he looks pretty young. But I think that would have been a really, really great choice for Johnny Storm. And I don't know what their plans are with it, but I think that it could turn out fine. We don't know. But one of the casting choices that I'm like, I don't know about this one, was Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. Now, I've been a huge advocate of just keeping John Krasinski around. I don't actually know why we moved on from him. I thought that he would have been a phenomenal Reed Richards. Pedro Pascal is just an unbelievable actor, and he's an incredible actor. He's the biggest actor in Hollywood right now as far as hype and everything goes. I don't think that he is necessarily a bad choice to play Reed Richards, just because we should be honored to have such a phenomenal character or phenomenal actor playing this very iconic character. My only problem with Pedro Pascal is that he is kind of the age for the role. And while we don't know how he's actually going to do in the role playing that character, we can't shit on it quite yet because he's a phenomenal actor. He could do a really, really great job. My only worry is that, 10 years down the line, he kind of out of it a significant bit, because I think he's already aged out of it now. And I just don't want them to cast Richards and Pedro Pascal because of his fame factor. I think that would be a bad choice. But I think that Pedro Pascal is a phenomenal actor. I think there's a really good chance he does a phenomenal job, and I'm not willing to write him out of the role just yet. And I'm very happy that he's in a project such as this. We needed him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe sooner. From what I can tell from the movie, they're also working on a very awesome actor to play Galactus. I can't think of his name at the moment, but they're also looking for somebody to play Silver Surfer as well. Keanu Reeves, Silver Surfer, come on. But I don't know if the Fantastic Four movie is going to be a phenomenal hit. It's not coming out for another year anyway, year and a half. They're starting filming here in the next couple months, three or some odd months. I think they said summer 2024, so this year. And the film's going to be taking place in the 60s, and they're going to find a way to get from the 60s onto the present-day MCU. I don't know how that's all going to pan out just yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not 100% sure who's directing the film, but with that movie taking place in the 60s, I think that's a pretty interesting concept. Fantastic Four was Marvel's first family, written in the 60s. They find a way in the quantum realm, and they jump up to the beginning or the current day MCU. But anyways, the Fantastic Four, it's a phenomenal franchise. It's a phenomenal couple characters that really hasn't ever been done right. The originals way back in the early 2000s were like the best ones that we got, which isn't really saying much. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna make a lot of money, and they have to make this a good movie. It has to hit. And it's going toe-to-toe with Superman Legacy, so if you screw this one up, not great. But another thing that Marvel released that is also a really positive step in the right direction, which I wasn't 100% sure if they were going to nail, X-Men 97, which is a continuation from the 1997 X-Men show. This is brilliant. I don't know why they didn't bring this back sooner, and I'm happy that they I don't know why they ever canceled it, really, or got rid of it a long time ago. This is just a case of Fox not using its best properties. And while I wasn't sure that Disney was going to do X-Men 97, just because I heard that they were going to switch on from the art style to more of a CGI look, which I wasn't really hyped about. But after seeing the trailer, they have the old character models, and it seems very intense, and it seems very good, and I'm very, very excited about that. And the art style, I'm actually really happy with as well, because it kind of had that like anime hand-drawn style, and then they used a little bit of CGI here and there, but nothing too massive. I don't know if it was actually CGI, but nothing. It didn't look super rubbery, which is I was afraid about. It looked very polished, and it looks very good, and I'm hoping that they managed to tell a really great story with these characters that we haven't seen in a really, really, really long time, and some of the best adorations of the X-Men characters. it is going to smack. It's going to be insane, and I'm very, very excited show, and I'm hoping that it just does incredible numbers, and I'm hoping it convinces them to bring back other iconic TV shows and characters like the Amazing Spider-Man or the original animated Spider-Man series that Fox did a long time ago in conjunction with the original X-Men animated series. I think that would be phenomenal. Even if they brought in the original Spider-Man or the animated Spider-Man series into this show as like a cameo, as the X-Men always appeared in his show, smacks. That would be great. That would be sick. And hopefully with this new Marvel Animations brand front and bringing back X-Men 97, maybe it convinces them to say, hey, really great we could do with this. We could continue X-Men 97. We can bring back the Spider-Man animated series. We can even bring back the Spectacular Spider-Man because those voice actors are still around and it would still make a lot of sense. And that was the best show that you could have possibly made. And I would absolutely love it if you did it. So do it. But Marvel will succeed when they start listening to their fan base, and it seems like hopefully they're making movies to make that happen. If you make the fans happy, you make the fans want to go see the movie, and if you make the fans want to go see the movie, you'll get money in return, which is the only reason technically why they're making this whole cinematic universe. Yeah, very excited for the future. Great projects that they announced over the last week that all look really great, and I'm excited to see where it leads, and all they have to do is not screw it up. So that's all I really have to rant about. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Ian Talks. Hopefully the green screen doesn't look like trash, and hopefully my new lighting system, these lights are probably a little too high up. I probably should have lowered these, but live and learn. This is a process. It's a process. Yeah, really excited about these projects. I'm excited about this green screen. If you guys can follow me on the other platforms, subscribe to the page, and like this upload. It helps so much. We're trying to build something really cool that I'm super excited to roll out soon. And yeah, I have to say for this, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the new episode of Forever Talking, and I'll see you guys on next Friday as well for a new episode of Ian Talks. But anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace, love, adios. Bye.